In this video, we're going to be talking about 3 important considerations when choosing a facilitator. In this video, we're going to be talking about 3 important considerations when choosing a facilitator. We have another video that you can see here with some other questions, but today we're going to be talking about what is your facilitator's spiritual orientation, or how do they think about this work? How do they think about consuming medicine themselves while they're serving you? And how do they approach therapeutic touch? 3 super important things to consider. Let's jump in. The first thing that I think is really important is, what is the spiritual orientation of your facilitator? Or how do they approach this work? What's the context in which they come to this work? Are they coming with a strictly medical perspective or a philosophical perspective? Do they have certain beliefs that that drive their work, or a certain spiritual framework or a religious framework? There's no right or wrong answer here. It's really just a matter of, do you feel alignment and trust in the way that they're thinking about working with this medicine? For instance, like we take really a Buddhist perspective to this work. We're not religious Buddhists, but from a Buddhist philosophy perspective. And we draw from other wisdom traditions as well, but that's a core to our orientation. And so if that doesn't feel right for somebody, then we're not likely a good fit. I think other facilitators have certain beliefs about, certain spiritual beliefs about what's happening in this world, or things like that. So it's worth having a conversation and get into some of that. Ask some probing questions and just see if they feel resonant with your own sense of what's happening in this world, and do you feel, trust and safety there. The second thing that I think is super important is to ask your facilitator what their approach to consuming medicine themselves is during the ceremony. This is again, there's no necessarily right or wrong answers. I have my own beliefs, but I'll park them for now. A lot of facilitators, especially in the 5-MeO space, will consume 5-MeO while they're serving you. This is sort of drawn from the ayahuasca tradition, but it's kind of interesting that people will smoke 5-MeO DMT while serving you 5-MeO DMT. This, to us, frankly, just feels, I said I was going to park my beliefs, but here they are. This, honestly, to us just feels unsafe, but who knows what's right or wrong, and this is for you to decide. The argument usually is that by consuming 5-MeO DMT, the facilitator is able to get on the same wavelength as you, as you're in the medicine, they're in the medicine, and they can interact with you. We found that we can really interact deeply and have a very intuitive experience with the folks we work with without consuming medicine. It's just a matter of being present, being embodied. So just an important question to consider. Maybe you're comfortable with your facilitator using medicine, and that's fine, but very important to know before you get onto the mat. The third one I'll mention is around touch and therapeutic touch. This is, again, there's no right or wrong answer, but there are some facilitators who will purely sit with you and they will not intervene in any way. They will sit, and if you are thrashing around or if you're moving around, they'll just kind of let you do your thing. And there's probably a threshold to where they would step in if you're going to start potentially harming yourself or something. And then there's other facilitators who are hands-on and use therapeutic touch. And therapeutic touch can be incredibly helpful and supportive in the process. But of course, understanding exactly how and where and when a facilitator might be using touch is super important for your own well-being, and also so that you can relax into the ceremony and know that you're safe and that you feel comfortable. And one facilitator might use touch and you feel comfortable with them interacting with you on that basis. You may be talking to a facilitator and you realize, oh, I'm not really comfortable with touch with this facilitator. So just important to kind of consider those things. So I'll leave it there for today, but those are 3 really important considerations. Does the facilitator use medicine while they're serving you medicine? what is their spiritual orientation and their approach to this work from a philosophical standpoint, and understanding their use or not use of touch and how that feels for you.